the heart of the Champagne region and the regional park of the Montagne de Reims. Nestling between vines and forests lies the village of Hautvillers, the cradle of Champagne. An absolutely typical village of the region, founded in 658 CE, Hautvillers owes its fame since the 18th century to Dom Perignon, a name known the whole world over. Dom Perignon was a Benedictine monk obsessed by the vine and wine it produced. He was the cellarer of the Abbey of St. Peter in Hautvillers, and he devoted his life to prayer and to the development of the prestigious wine we know as Champagne. It was in the year 650 CE that St. Nevard, the Archbishop of Reims and nephew of King Dagobert, founded the Abbey of Hautvillers. In the course of a journey around the region he had a prophetic vision of a dove which sketched out the plans for a monastery. So he undertook to build this church, surrounded by a monastery where the monks lived according to the rule of St. Benedict in humility, silence, prayer and solitude. Today Hautvillers is a small village of fewer than 800 inhabitants dedicated to winemaking. Leaving the tourist office, go down the Rue de la Porte d'Enber and then take the Rue du Dessous des Clos. At the end take a track on the left to reach the vines. The Champagne wine growing area covers around 34,000 hectares. The vineyards, production companies and cellars of Champagne have been listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site since July 5, 2015. The area is made up of 3 distinct districts. The historic vineyards of Hautvillers with the town of Camille, and Mireille-Chourie, the slopes of St. Nicaise Hill in Reims, and the Avenue of Champagne. These 3 areas represent the display case of the skill of champagne making. 3 grape varieties are grown in the vineyards: Pinot Meunier, Pinot Noir and Chardonnay. After leaving the vines, the Rue de Camille, the Rue du Coeur de Lampe and the Rue de l'Église bring you to the church of Saint-Sindulphe in Hautvillers. Inside, the resting place of Dom Perignon and Dom Ruinart lies under a marble slab in the centre of the nave of the abbey church. On leaving the church take the Rue Henri Martin, which is the most attractive street in the village. Go up the street and admire the architecture of the houses so typical of the Champagne region. For example, number 31 has a wide entrance with a flat-topped arch that opens onto a space dedicated to wine storage. The windows and doors are framed in brick. On the facade of the Mairie, you can see a sundial where bunches of grapes mark the hours. There are more than 140 wrought iron signs decorating the houses which liven up the streets and lanes in the village. They illustrate seasonal activities, or the trade of the owner of the house, or maybe a story connected with the building's history. Pruning the vines, making the wine in a barrel. A woman harvesting grapes, or the torso of a man, the basket for collecting the grapes on his back and a bunch of grapes in his hand. One of the best is perhaps that outside the Bossa house, which depicts a number of the activities carried out by the winemaker. One man is in the process of pruning the vines, a woman picks a bunch of grapes, a man is rolling a barrel, another man turns the bottles in a frame, and the last is drinking a glass. And also, Dom Perignon stands, parchment in hand and vines at his feet. Returning up the Rue Martin you reach the Place de la République opposite the tourist office. The particular architecture of the building recalls its use before the French Revolution as it was the village church. Go along past the tourist office and take the Rue Bacchus, where members of the House of Champagne Joseph Tisruits will show you one of the most ancient wine presses in the area and then treat you to a tasting. See you again soon on the European cultural route to Vitis, le chemin de la Vigne, that the paths of wine heritage.